1 Samuel chapter 30 records the story of David and his men who suffered devastation after their return from the battle of Ziklag. Their camp was invaded by the Amalekites, who took up their wives and children, and these men who were already tired from battle, weary from their toil, and then they come home and find out that their camp has just been depleted. On top of everything that they're going through, that they still have more to go through. In 1 Samuel 30, verse 4, it records the intensity of the pain that David and his men felt. It said, "Then David and the people that were with him lifted up their voice and wept until they had no more power to weep." Child of God, how many of us, when we're going through so many things on a daily basis, we going through this, and we hear the classic, "If it ain't one thing, it's another way." It seems like we're getting it from the north, we're getting it from the south, east, and the west. We're going through problems in our home, but it said that David literally had no more power to weep. And many of us, as we go through our lives, some of us can't even cry. We've gone through so much devastation. Some of us have, whether that be in the loss of a home, a loss of a spouse, a loss of a loved one, loss of a career, loss of a dream, child of God. But David didn't stay melancholy. He didn't stay having a pity party, because it goes on to say that David's troubles were compounded. In 1 Samuel 30 and 6, it said, "And David was greatly distressed," not just distressed, he was greatly distressed, "for the people spake of stoning him, because the soul of all the people was grieved, every man for his son and for his daughters. But David encouraged himself in the Lord his God." These men who, on top of all of their losses, they were all hurting over losing their families at this particular time. And then they even spake of stoning David. So compounded, David was going through the same pain, the same toil, the same problems that they were going through. And on top of all of that, they wanted to stone David. That's literally the straw that broke the camel's back. But in the midst of all of this, the scriptures record these words, that David encouraged himself in the Lord his God. In the actual Hebrew rendering there, it said, David made himself strong in the Lord his God. And child of God, that's what I'm telling you. In the midst of all the things that you're going through, make yourself strong in the Lord your God. For the name of your God is a strong tower, and the righteous run in. Yeah, your God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Your God who says that I declare the end from the beginning. Your God who's a deliverer. Your God who's a strong tower. Your God who's a way out of no way. In the midst of all that David was going through, he said, he encouraged himself in the Lord his God. And child of God, that's what I'm saying to you in the midst of all the things that you're going through. Remember, turn to the Word of God. Strength will come from the Word of God. Life will come from the Word of God. Health will come from the Word of God. Make yourself strong in the Lord your God. Yes, encourage yourself in the Lord your God. You don't have to be encouraged by discouraged by the debilitating situations that surround you on every turn. But encourage yourself in the Lord your God. For he's a God that's never failed. His word won't return unto him void. Every word that he says will accomplish that which he purposed it to. Encourage yourself in the Lord your God.